Guys, when do you add weight to your dog's walks or workouts? Listen, I've been told and seen many people concerned over the years with, unfortunately, doing it too soon or doing it too late. Hey, when can I add weight to my dog's workout? I've been doing it now for years, at about 7 months. 7 months and sometimes earlier, depending on what problem we're solving. So, a walk, go look into Wolf's Law, can go a lot shorter because if you got a Boerboel like I do, Mowgli can walk 3 miles, come in, mouth still closed. You go, damn, he just did 3 miles and he's fine. That's crazy. I'm not gonna get to 6 miles in a day. It's just not gonna happen. But I can do 3, I can do 2.5, and I do a lot of stuff. I go to the gym, I'm still in my gym stuff now. So Wolf's Law is when you implement a walk. Now, hey, what makes me more comfortable in putting a weighted vest on my dog than you? Your dog has a gait, and in its gait, we have this thing where the feet do like this, they meet each other. We call that a come and go. The come and go gives you perspective on how the dog's movement patterns are. So let's say over the first 3 months I have the dog, I walk them around the block. At some point, their movement goes from perfection to exhausted. We all do. You know, you get tired. If you ever ran track, your form breaks down at the last part of a 400. If you can maintain form, a lot of times you can get through the better, or in some cases, worst parts of a race. So I look at what's he doing at a block? What's he doing at 2 blocks? What's he doing at 3 blocks? And the minute I see the form breakdown, aka is come and go, it goes from straight back, feet moving, to literally his body wiggling and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, exerting excessive amounts of energy, which lets me know that he's not walking through, we'll just call it the framework. So once I see, let's say at block 3, his form breaks down, AKA his movement changes, I'll say, okay, well, what happens if I add 10% of his body weight to a weighted vest for a block? Well, we can improve some strength. We can increase his conditioning. We can build some muscle, right? If ever you got a chance to look at Mowgli at literally 8 months old, you go, man, that's a good looking dog. And the good part of the way he looks is because, believe it or not, I've been adding weight to his walks since he was probably 6 months old. And I did this with all the dogs. And I will keep doing it with any dog that I get because I'm not pushing them. Hey, the joints aren't fully formulated. You're right. But we also don't allow them to jump on it. We make sure that they work. The second way in which I add weight to the dog's walks or just exercise, because here's the facts, people. We know, and Stan could attest to this along with other people who are in the behavior space, that when a dog, person, animal, thing is not stimulated, they tend to act out. But what happens when a dog is not getting the attention it needs? Same thing happens when a 4-year-old child don't get no attention. They act crazy. Hooping, hollering, barking, just extra. So I then, now that Joker and Maestro are in a state where they're, we'll just say, done growing height-wise, put that weighted vest on them, drop the pillow to a place where they're only working their back legs. And what you've seen is me do some funny videos talking about our dogs getting their BBLs. You build the dog from his rear. In the rear, in this case, it's cost me upwards of $8,000. But what we don't want them to do is be jumping and landing crazy on that rear, on that TPLO or the ACL or whatever. So now that they're into that year and some change, meaning just a couple months in a year, I'm like, let's add 10 pounds, drop the pillow. For whatever reason, they moved all the dang on wood chips out, and I bought sand on sand on sand. Sand's gone, but the dirt's there. God bless you. And now they're working their back legs through the sand. Now let me be very clear. Maestro did a live the other day. And he was on live with no weighted vest for 30 plus minutes hanging from the pillow. Man, I added that weighted vest, put it in my story. He was cooked. He was cooked. He was so cooked, he was like this. He laid down with his balls on them stones back there, aka them rocks. So that 30 minutes went to 15 to 25, but even if he gets to 30, he's way more exhausted, working his back legs, with the weight on his body, and we're strengthening his hips because muscle stabilize joints. Using weight can be very difficult if you're unaware of what you're dealing with. Because Boogie's more lanky right now, I'm not putting no weight on him. But Mowgli has that just, you got to know your dogs, right? We're trying almost 4 or 5 months. He was too lanky, too goofy, no sense of self. He would break down because he had terrible form collectively, just going around the block. Ego too. All of them. In my experience, at 7, 8 months, they start getting a little bit more sound. So it's wait time. And sometimes I do it even at younger stages, depending on how the dogs are coming together, AKA a smaller breed. But I've got the question over the years, hey, when can I add weight to my dog's workouts or my dog's body? Everybody says when the growth platelets are closed. They're right. So I'm going to say this, as I always say, as a disclaimer. You never do what I do. But you're going to see the dogs who are not a year old put some weight on their ass. And I've tested it now for months, and in some cases years. They'll be fine. Guys, take care of your dogs. What you're watching right now is, again, 2 dogs learning to play with each other. But again, all they're doing is rear work, AKA literally on their back legs. You're watching them diamonds come in, especially with Joker, man. Joker's got some good little diamonds on him, man. And they're super motivated, but nobody should be jumping. They're just high enough off the ground where they can stay on their back legs, and they've got just enough weight where it ain't really gonna stress them none. And because of this particular vest, the weight is evenly distributed so that nobody's just like, you could hurt yourself, but not in this particular situation because nobody's jumping. So Joker and Maestro, man, prime example of them just having a good time. There we go. And you want to make sure, as always, you're monitoring playtime, because this is when accidents could happen, and one accident could shape the rest of your household. And if they do get into a debacle, they'll always normally have something in the air that'd be like, hey, remember that one time? And then if something else happened like that, every time will turn into Donkey Kong and I guess, what's the little baby one? Baby Kong? I can't remember his name. But 2 dogs fighting, to simplify it. 2 dogs, you don't want them fighting. Not in your home. You want them to live together, coexist together, have a good time, play together, and not work together. And right now, they're at the stage where they're both pretty motivated, and they've crossed over. So, you know.